how do we create that sense of awe and depth in our daily life? When we're just going through the grind and our usual thing, how do we find meaning and purpose, fulfillment, all those qualities that just lead to us feeling exhilarated about life? I want to share with you a couple stories and then some ideas that maybe you haven't thought of that might help you find that in your life and cultivate that in your life. Now, I'm just coming back from 3 months in India. I had this glorious experience where we hosted a camp at the Maha Kumbh Mela, the giant spiritual gathering, and this year it was in northern India. Over the course of 7 weeks, over 680 million people came to this one, probably 10 to 15 mile square area of land on the banks of the river Ganga and Yamuna. And we got the real pleasure and honor of hosting a camp where we fed thousands of people every day. Pilgrims came from all over the world and spent time with us. It was just extraordinary. And so it was actually hard not to find depth, meaning, and awe in that kind of an experience. And for those of us who have had the great blessing of traveling, we've probably had that sense of awe and lack of familiarity and everything is new. I remember traveling to South America where my dear, probably my best friend lives in Chile. She's a nun that does beautiful spiritual work down there. And I saw this tree I'd never seen before. I was like, I've never seen that tree before in my life. And I love trees. I spend lots of time in trees and mountains. But it was so extraordinary for me. And so it's easy when we're traveling. It's easy when we're living a physically new life all the time. But for those of us that have a regularity, a certain grind, if you will, in our lives that feels like a grind, how do we find depth? Well, here's what we can do. Number one, we find what we are looking for. So I want you to do an exercise with me. I'd like you to first look around the room and look at everything in the place where you are, whether it's your car or your room, wherever you are. Look at everything that's blue. This will just take 10 seconds. So just do this with me. Look around, see everything that's blue. I see the sky. I see this roof out my window. There's some in my rug. There's some blue. All right, just look at what's blue. Okay, got it? Now close your eyes and remember everything that is red. Okay. I know the rug is red. I can't think of anything else. You can open your eyes now. So this is the thing. We find what we're looking for. And if we're not conscious about what we're looking for in our lives, then we're driven by our subconscious beliefs that we've inherited from the world around us and likely our families of origin. So if we don't become conscious about what we want, number one, and then two, if we don't actively seek out looking for the thing that we want, then we'll find what we've always gotten. And we'll find what we are looking for unconsciously, which for many of us might be like the things that aren't working, the relationships that aren't working, the aspects of our job that we don't appreciate, instead of focusing on the things that are working, which fosters gratitude. And then as we foster more and more gratitude, this all comes back to how do we find depth? Well, if we want to find depth, look for the qualities of depth that exist in our life. I live in Florida. It's wonderful here. And there are so many beautiful flowers that bloom all different times of the year. So while they start to become familiar to me, I often pause and just look at them and take them in and say to myself, that is so beautiful. That is so amazing. So if we want to find depth, we've got to practice awe. That's one of the qualities. So what do? We seek out what we're looking for consciously. Now, it might seem a little rote. It might seem a little, weird to do in the beginning of like, look at that beautiful sunset. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Look at the water. The wind feels amazing today, right? Looking for awe and seeking out what we find, because we always find what we're looking for. The catch is that many of us don't know that we're looking for something that's driven by our beliefs that are subconscious, right? So number one, find what you're looking for and create what you are looking for. In my example, by practicing awe. Number two, accept what is in the way of finding depth. Now, there's a whole narrative that probably exists for you, which it does for all of us, that stops us from finding depth. Now, a kind of judgy way of talking about that is excuses or justifications. Well, I can't have the job I'm looking for because blah, 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 blah. Well, I can't get along with my coworkers because they're blah, 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 right? Now, I don't want to be too harsh about that. And Those are reasons that come from a narrative that keep it in place. And if you look at some of my videos around how we can change people or how we can transform, there is always access to changing circumstances in our lives. Quick tangent, everything that we experience in our outside world is an expression of our inside world. So if we successfully navigate and transform any kind of resistances, anger, frustration, depression inside of us, we will see that in our external world less and less. And what's even more beautiful is that as we experience those difficulties in our outside world, how we experience them and feel them will be radically different. On my way back from India a few days ago, I was exhausted. I mean, the body was just so tired. I'd been traveling for, 40 hours, and we were taking a flight from, where was it? Newark, New Jersey to Fort Myers, right? It's the local airport here. And on the way, there were thunderstorms in Fort Myers, allegedly, so we were circling, and then we ended up landing in Jacksonville. They weren't telling us what was going to happen, what we were going to do. People were getting frustrated. One young lady totally snapped, and people were kind of making fun of her. It was pretty brutal, right? But I know this practice because I've been practicing it for a very long time, and I just fostered what I wanted in that moment. And I didn't want to, I had compassion for this young woman. I actually tried to say something to her. It wasn't very successful. And I found my way of navigating this person that I was sitting next to who was kind of making fun of her, right? Just be like, oh man, she's having a really hard time, And it kind of softened his experience and had a little bit of a ripple effect on the people around us. Now, I didn't transform everybody on the flight. That's not what I'm saying. The experience that I had, though, was while it was uncomfortable, it was fine. I got home, I went to bed, and I pretty much forgot that it happened until this moment recording this video with you, right? So if we accept what's in the way of us creating those aspects of our lives that we want, meaning the frustration that's inside of us, the resistance we might have inside of us, the beliefs that we have that stop things from becoming the way that we want them to become, and we accept those. So it's not, we don't want to create this Pollyanna view of the world where it's like, everything's great. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good. It's great. Oh, that's such a beautiful sunset. Oh, that's great. It doesn't work either, right? It's too far on that end of the spectrum. So if we can accept and navigate any difficulties that we have internally, then our ability to find depth becomes so much more high. And then the third thing that we do is we consciously create. We become clear about what it is that we want to have in our lives. You may journal about what your ideal life looks like financially and from a relationship view, from a career point of view, where you live, right? Become clear about what you want to have in your life and stay focused on that and nurture that idea, that vision every day. And then practice finding depth, navigate what comes up for you inside, and just keep going. And sooner or later, if you stay on this path, you will have everything that you want. It's absolutely possible. All my best to you.